And there we are. We are live on Livestream Tuesday. Welcome everyone to Livestream Tuesday. And today we have a special crypto episode. And it's really driven by like a regret that like I have. So I remember when I was at Banyan Hill, we were planning the crypto product that Ian used to run, and I remember pitching my publishers like, "There's this token. I'm so stoked about it." And he's like, "What's it called?" And I said, "Oh, nobody's heard of it. It's not known. It's called Solana." And well, long story short, Solana went up by I don't know a few thousand%. And we never recommended it. I never bought it because we were going to make it the point of the promotion to pitch the products. I wasn't allowed to own it, all these things. But I'm not pitching Solana. That's not the live stream today. Instead, I have a similar feeling. I have a similar feeling about XRP. I feel like this is the token that is going to be the surprise, shocking winner of the next crypto boom. And by winner, I mean that something that like people are not particularly expecting. Most people have given up hope. There used to be a lot of hype about XRP. But today, if you go and scan the crypto waves, yeah, you'll get, pretty much derision, hate. You'll be insulted, you'll be mocked if you are bullish on XRP. But you know what? If you look at like trading recently, it points to some kind of accumulation and buying that is going on, because anytime the price falls below a certain level, yeah, people seem to be coming in and buying it. So in today's live stream, I want to throw this out there, which is that I believe that in hindsight, because look, folks, what are we really trying to do? We don't want to buy today's winners. We want to buy tomorrow's winners, right? So like in 2 years or 3 years, you want to be like, well, what was the thing to buy right now? So prices are still low for XRP, still low. And let's break this opportunity down, lay out sort of like what is going on. And hey, from there, yeah, XRP to the moon. But before I do all of that, all the usual things from the lawyers, our legal disclaimer and disclosure, which is this live stream and the content from ATG Digital Media is not investment or financial advice. It is presented to all of you humbly as opinion, information, engagement, and for most of you, entertainment. All ATG digital content may contain errors, oversights, and mistakes. Understand that investment operations have significant risks and can lead to the loss of your principal. Investment operations are buying and selling any security, any investment. Loss of your principal means it's a complicated way of saying losing money. Next, I, the owners, employees, contractors, own, trade, and transact in the securities that are mentioned in this video and all content from ATG Digital Media. And in full disclosure, I have owned XRP actually for a long time. We do not take money from companies or from crypto promoters to recommend their stocks or crypto tokens. So for better and for worse, for loss and for gain, whatever we come up with is completely based on our own independent research and point of view. We put out a lot of free content. My Substack goes out daily. Dean, Dan, and myself, we are the contributors to the Substack. I do the Bald Man Speculating podcast. I did 2, I believe, earlier this month. I'm trying to get to 2 to 3 per month. Then obviously I'm on YouTube as I am right now. Very active on X. And in fact, I went on X yesterday to talk about the black swans that have appeared in our economy, in our country, in our financial system, and how crypto is the place like to express that, like, yeah, that like, where is it not priced in where you can get a big benefit? Crypto is it. And you can go check out my live stream on X on the whole thing, but I'm not going to get into all of that today. You can go check me out on X, and I kind of wrote about it in the Substack yesterday as well. Facebook, we are pretty active when Dean is free. If you want subscriptions from ATG Digital, you go to atgdigital.media, and subscriptions begin at $9.99 per month. All right. So let's go do some sort of like why XRP, and why now? Why now? And what is this 500, I put that big number up, 500 billion, right? What is that? Like, why that? Why that? All right. So when I show you the long-term chart of XRP, what you'll see is that this is a token that people got very excited about in the now seemingly very early days of crypto. And then something happened. What happened? The government, through its regulatory arm, the SEC, decided that they were going to try and squash crypto. And they picked out XRP and the Ripple network as their sort of like, these are the folks that they were going to use to crush crypto. So they went and sued XRP. I mean, we were talking about a nasty, expensive, difficult, ugly battle here. And it went on for years, like 2-3 years. I believe that XRP has said that their cost of fighting the SEC and the government is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. That's how expensive this has been. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And the cost to XRP, and just so that everyone understands, what is XRP and what is Ripple? So XRP is the actual token, right? That's what trades. That's what gets us all excited. That's what, we hope will make us rich. And Ripple is the network. To use the Ripple network, you need XRP tokens. And the network can be used for any number of primarily financial functions. The Ripple network was designed for money transfers, for financial transactions, and it is a private network. In other words, it's not a public blockchain. If you want to be on, if you are a company that does not want your activities broadcast to the world, for example, if you're in the Ethereum blockchain, all those wallets are public. But the Ripple network, yeah, their wallets are not public. It's proprietary. It's private. And many people will be like, that's terrible, Paul. No, there's a place for this. And there are many organizations around the world. There are many people around the world that don't want their wallets broadcast in real time all the time. And there are a lot of functions as it relates particularly to money and finance and banking, where a private blockchain network is something that is absolutely desired, absolutely wanted, and where there is an absolute real need for. In many ways, the Ripple network and XRP almost is the private parallel to Ethereum and Ether. Now, most people don't even think of, they're like, what's Ether? Well, Ether is the token of the Ethereum network. We call it Ethereum. That's become like the short form to refer to the token, but the actual token is called Ether. So, the parallel would be XRP and Ether, Ethereum, and the Ripple network. Just so you have a big, broad explanation. All right. Now, in my way of imagining the world, If there were no SEC lawsuit, if there were no government trying to make an example out of one token, one organization that, to try and just try and crush crypto, yeah, in my world, these two would trade for approximately the same capitalization and value, right? Because they were for a while equal. And people, used to have the same level of excitement and interest about XRP as they did about Ethereum. And then what happened? Well, the SEC lawsuit came and they got stuck in this quagmire of this lawsuit, which just went on and, and sucked up expenses and Ethereum price went like this, and XRP did nothing. Nothing. All right. I'm going to show you. All right. Just in case for those folks who don't know, I'm just going to put this up to begin with. That's what we're talking about today. XRP. A little bit of education. Why is XRP even denoted in this way? XRP USD. Because blockchain tokens are commodities. They don't give you an ownership interest. They will trade long term based on demand and supply and scarcity. Obviously, the token has to have some use to somebody, but it does not convey ownership. And I'm also bringing this up because this was the subject of the lawsuit from the SEC and the government. They made the claim that XRP, that token, represented an ownership stake in the Ripple network and the company that sponsors it. In the Ripple network and XRP, they said, no, we are a commodity, not any different than the Japanese yen or oil. In other words, they're all the same and they don't convey any ownership. When you buy a commodity, you're not buying like a ownership stake like when you buy a stock. And this was fought over, and ultimately the courts decided in XRP's favor. Now, that lawsuit is not completely settled, but there have been burbling rumors for now months that they're on the verge of settlement. They're very close. I believe is the chairman of the Ripple network has gone on various shows and said, they're very close and maybe they're going to have some settlement and be done. And I believe that upon the settlement, we can have like a sudden jump, because XRP shouldn't really be trading at this level. The reason why, in my judgment, why it's trading at this level is that once the SEC sued the Ripple network and XRP, Coinbase had to shut trading down. In other words, you couldn't buy it. In fact, I had to make the decision, and we're talking about 3-4 years ago. I owned XRP at Coinbase. And so they sent me a note saying, hey, we are going to freeze trading in this. You can choose to be here, but you may not be able to sell out for a long period of time. And I had to make a commitment then, like, okay, I think this is going to work out. And I haven't made like an extraordinary amount of money in it, but it's up finally from where I bought it. But all of that stuff has essentially meant that there has been very little money that has been able to flow into XRP because you couldn't really buy it anywhere. I mean, the only places where you could buy XRP token were if you were trading this in some other country where they were not being sued. In the United States, which is the largest really investor base for crypto, with the largest amount of money, they couldn't buy XRP. But if I'm right, with multiple things going on, first, the settling of this lawsuit, which is 3-4 years in the making, eliminates any obstacle, any barrier, not just to buying the token, which is obviously a big deal. I mean, truthfully, the moment that the court decided in favor of XRP, Coinbase opened up and started trading. So anybody today can go onto Coinbase and they can buy XRP and any number of other exchanges. I don't know offhand if Robinhood offers access to XRP, but it will be pretty easy to check. I can even do it while I'm on the live stream. I think they do. I'm not sure, but one of you maybe can check and just confirm and put it in the chat and see, because I'm sure there's at least somebody here that has a Robinhood account. But you will have extended access to XRP. In all likelihood, we'll likely have someone want to come and sponsor an ETF, which will be even more money. But even more importantly, folks that want to use the Ripple network will now be able to actually go in without worrying about violating any law or violating some sort of rule, some regulation, can go and start to actually implement solutions that use the blockchain network. That has an enormous impact, because while we're all focused on the price, very few people will explain to you how the price of a crypto token gets bid up in price. Here's how it happens. All right. You put a project, you put an app, if you will, on the blockchain network. To use the blockchain network, you have to go and have some tokens, because that's how you pay for the usage of the network. So you go buy some XRP. Now you use it. And now on the other side, to get access to the network on the other side, let's say you're sending money from one point to another. You use the network. The person on the other side also needs XRP. Now you've got two parties that need XRP. Now, if you're going to send money back and forth, you will need to keep some amount of XRP sort of like in storage or accumulate it. Now there starts to be an accumulation that's built. As more and more people use the network, more and more amounts of XRP get stored and used on the network, which drives more usage, which drives more storage. And now you have scarcity driving value, value driving scarcity, and the price gets bid up. That is the process by which a crypto token gains price. Now, by usage, driven by the utility of the blockchain network, which drives in rising scarcity, which causes more and more people, of course, to want to obviously speculate in the token, but it has to be driven as well by someone that actually has a real world use for the blockchain network. So multiple things will all suddenly come once this thing is completely settled. Now let's look at a longer term price chart of XRP, right? That goes back, that's 10 years, and what that looks like is like you can see the high price was $3.29 back in 2018. I mean, that we're talking about the 2017 bull market in crypto. That was when Bitcoin was at I think it was about a little under 20,000. So in other words, Bitcoin has rocketed up, Ethereum has rocketed up, but XRP has stood still. Why? Well, because of this lawsuit. The lawsuit has meant that they really couldn't develop their business. People couldn't buy the token. People couldn't access the token. It stopped everything. Now, imagine in a parallel world, and this is the way I am thinking, and it's why I'm doing this live stream, and also why XRP, from the moment that the lawsuit where the judge ruled in favor of XRP, we put it into the silver tier. We're not up yet, But in my judgment, this is the token that has the greatest unrealized potential today, because you've got like, this is like a coiled spring. I mean, once this lawsuit is gone, you'll have obviously business development, you'll have speculative activity, you have more access, you have actual use. And let's contrast, big word, contrast, XRP versus Ethereum. Because that, in my judgment, these are really parallel currencies. So the thing to pay attention here is this market cap column. Ethereum has a market cap of $417 billion approximately. $417 billion approximately. XRP has a market capitalization, despite all of the suffering that it has been put through by the SEC and the government, it still somehow has kept a reasonable amount of money. I mean, one of the things that you can do on CoinMarketCap, which is the website that I'm showing you, is that you can actually go back in time and look at the top 10 tokens, from last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And XRP, through all of this, has always remained in the top 10, top 12. I mean, there's been obviously a lot of movement across different tokens, but XRP has been there despite really not going anywhere for the better part of 10 years. In other words, there is a hardcore group of people, obviously including me because I've held on, that understand the token, understand its potential, understand the potential of the network, and understand, more importantly, that their solution is quite unique for a blockchain network. There's no one else that really has a private network, because most people have public blockchains, because that is seen as one of the big benefits of a blockchain, which is that it's public, everybody can see it. But you know what? There is a absolute large, big, significant number of people that want a private blockchain where they do not want stuff transmitted. And XRP is the largest, the most well-known, the best capitalized token and network that's out there. So if you go with my way of thinking, XRP and Ethereum really should be peers. They should be equal. They should be equal. So if you, let's see, I'll get my calculator app out. I don't think you guys can see that, but so Ethereum's at 417 billion, just round higher. And XRP, is 33 billion. Ethereum is nearly 13 times bigger today because of the SEC's war on crypto, for which they used XRP. So when the war is won and over and settled and peace terms are written and done, where will XRP go? Well, you can model out a few different things. One, we'll just say, let's say the first model might be like, okay, what if Ethereum stood still and just sat at 417 billion, then about 12 a little bit under 13 times, 12.6 times the current XRP price of about 60 cents says XRP is a token that, if these were trading at the same market capitalization, about $7.50. So it's between $7 and $8 approximately. But I believe we're in a crypto bull market. Once Bitcoin price rips to the next new high and goes to the next post-halving peak, I mean, Ethereum's going to trade much higher. I mean, so I don't think a static model of just comparing Ethereum at 417 is right. Ethereum is going to go up, which means that there is even more upside in XRP. It obviously has not priced in the past or the present, And it certainly hasn't priced in the future. So let's say, we just take a tour around the internet, and there is there's a lot of people um, talking about XRP, and you can see here there's price predictions that are wildly all over the place. There's $1, which, I mean, hey, if you've been with me, $1 is not going to excite me because I like big gains, and we're talking about, we want hundreds of percent in gains. I mean, a $1 would be what, like less than double. I mean, it's fine, and I'm sure plenty of folks would be perfectly happy. But then you've got folks like this person. I don't know who he is, Brandon Briggs. I don't know who this person is. Talking about $10,000 now. I do have to like inject a tiny bit of realism in here and be like $10,000 from 60 cents. I mean, would mean a blockchain network that is worth, hundreds of trillions of dollars. So I'm going to say that that's probably like, on the outer edge, that's a post-universe prediction as far as I'm concerned. But then there's Van Eck, which is a ETF company, which is predicting what Ethereum might go to, which is nearly 5x where it is. And they're being very modest with the XRP prediction at $3. There's more that's out there. There's someone, here, 50% jump. Most people are looking for one. Here is a prediction for $57. And you can see there's just a lot of sort of like this kind of price prediction. Now, what I'm laying out is more like of a bit of a way of thinking, which is that, look, you've got Ethereum and Ether, which are now pretty well understood. There's all these decentralized finance apps and protocols on it, Maker and Aave and all of these that are sitting on Ethereum. And that has not had a chance to develop on XRP yet. And the reason why is that, well, people are too afraid. You don't want to take on the US government. You don't want to be like, involved in this lawsuit. So nobody is in. But one of the things that XRP and the Ripple network have is that banks, financial companies, they're all like ready clients for a private blockchain network. And they're all there ready to go. And they don't have to develop something new. I mean, the decentralized finance apps, I mean, they're inventing something new, something that didn't exist before. XRP and the Ripple network, they are looking to essentially tokenize, if you will, existing financial transactions, money transfers. I mean, and flows of money, say, between banks. There's trillions of dollars that moves every day between banks in the United States and Japan and Australia. And, all of these things right now move without a blockchain, which, has enormous advantages. If you move it with a blockchain, all that information is recorded in real time. The transfers happen in real time. Everyone can see everything in real time. All the benefits of a blockchain, except it's private, it's not public. So in my judgment, once the SEC lawsuit is signed, sealed, delivered, I believe that the reason why we're seeing this like pickup recently, and I'm going to put up a more recent chart. So that's a 1-year chart. And you can see from the beginning of July, XRP is at 38 cents. Now it's at about 59, so 60 cents. Why? I believe what's going on is that there is a kind of front running that's going on, similar in a way to what happened prior to the Bitcoin ETF being approved, which is that now in hindsight today with, seeing the price stagnation, despite like a lot of buying into the Bitcoin ETF, we hit a high of nearly 74,000 in March. And now we are in July, which is what, April, May, June, July. And in hindsight, it's clear that, BlackRock, Fidelity, the big players, they clearly were harvesting, accumulating Bitcoin in anticipation of the ETF, so that as clients came in, they can obviously put that Bitcoin into the ETF. If I'm right, something similar is going on right here with XRP, and there will be a moment driven by events. I mean, the obvious event is obviously a full settlement of the lawsuit with the SEC. The next would be a potential number of announcements between XRP and the Ripple network, say between, I don't know, JP Morgan or Bank of America or any number of foreign banks saying that they are going to use the Ripple network, which would mean that they need to own XRP tokens to transact on the network. And this price action is what made me do this live stream. I was like, so we've seen other moments like this where there's a persistence, but there has definitely been, like, on a day-to-day basis, there's clearly somebody buying. In my opinion, my judgment, remember, it's not investment or financial advice, and you're not guaranteed to make money. I mean, this is based on facts, evidence, but whenever you're anticipating the future, there is uncertainty. You don't have guarantee. But that looks unusual. That looks interesting. That looks fishy, if you will. It's anticipating much higher prices. People are buying up the low-cost inventory. And if I'm right, my way of thinking about the world, which is that these Ethereum and XRP are really pure tokens. They should trade for something near the same amount. These networks should be valued quite similarly. One through decentralized finance and a public blockchain, one through sort of traditional finance and a private blockchain. And we're not going to move from current traditional finance to decentralized finance in one day or 1 week. That process is going to be, going to take 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, and there will still be a lot of money that is transacted by private institutions that don't want all of their transactions broadcast to the world. In other words, XRP arguably has a kind of monopoly on this private blockchain business, appealing to banks and financial companies that have an existing business based on fiat money, based on traditional finance, but they want to go onto a blockchain network. They want to keep their existing business. And in my opinion, XRP and the Ripple network is the only game in town. That's my view. So that's where I'm going to leave it. If I'm right, sometime between now and, say, the next peak, which based on my Bitcoin forecast or model says happens in November next year, we're going to see a rocket explosion. Now, we've, in crypto, this is done. I mean, if you want to go back and see in hindsight what a rocket explosion in crypto looks like, I mean, I began this by talking about Solana, but look at Solana's rocket ride from $1 to $260. Yeah, that was what? Yeah, that's 2020 to the peak. So that was a 250x move. Stuff like this happens in crypto. And it doesn't always happen with the most weird out, unusual, strangest coins that are out there. It happens in things that have some real application. I mean, it happens in things that where there is something to the token. I mean, yes, people want to get lucky with, the next Shiba Inu, and hey, this is not that. This is something where there is a real world purpose, utility, reason, rationale, logic for XRP and the Ripple network to exist, and where there is a reason why its price has been compressed and squeezed in. It's the SEC lawsuit. And once that's released, could we see an explosion higher? Well, you never know, and there's no guarantees in life, but you can only win if you're in it. And that's where it stands. XRP is in our silver tier portfolio at ATG Digital. And if you like this kind of thinking where, we take a sort of like an idea and then we like really put it down to something that can happen based on a fact pattern. Well, this is what all of our investment ideas at ATG Digital are built on. And with that, I want to make maybe say a few things about what I talked about on X yesterday, my Substack, which is that we're in like a incredibly strange time in terms of our country, right? We've had 3 major black swan events happen in the space of, I said 3 weeks on X, it's under 2 weeks. An assassination attempt on the Republican candidate for president, right? Followed by unprecedented tech chaos as millions of computers around the world get blue screened as a result of 2 companies, CrowdStrike and Microsoft. And it shuts down airlines, governments, hospitals, transportation systems, companies all around the world. So that's Black Swan number 2. And then we have something that's never happened before. A sitting president who has been nominated to stand again for his party withdraws and has not been seen now for a week. All of this is wildly, historic, and I call it the Black Swan trifecta. And if I'm right, the place where this gets expressed as uncertainty or volatility and opportunity is going to be in the currency markets. And in another time, you might have seen whatever, the dollar swing up and down versus whatever, the euro or the yen. But today, the dollar is pretty much the only game in town. The big swings are going to come against crypto. It's going to come against Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even XRP. Because when the political process, when the societal chaos emerges, people, they look for hedges. They want something that can go up, if all the other stuff goes down. And that, in my judgment, in my opinion, is crypto. Obviously, Bitcoin is the apex coin, but I believe pretty much all crypto will get a huge bid as this thinking starts to permeate through Wall Street, through the hedge funds, through the high net worth individual financial advisors, through the family offices. They're all going to come be like, well, what don't we own? And most people have no exposure to crypto, none. So you'd have crypto tokens shoot higher, you'd have miners going up, you'll have crypto related stocks going up. I made the point in my diamond tier update yesterday about this, which is that in my judgment, in my opinion, you got to have some exposure to crypto. You got to have exposure. You can't have a trifecta of black swans questioning basic things like the functioning of our society. I mean, we're dependent on one or 2 companies for our hospitals to run. I mean, or that, we can't protect our presidential candidates, and that we have no idea how our presidential race is going to be run. We're barely 4 months out. Yeah, these are unprecedented events, and they are black swan events, and we are still acting like everything is just normal. And in my judgment, my opinion, when you have a scenario like this, I mean, like from high prices, the exit is always very narrow, right? I mean, it's very difficult to get out, right? If everybody wants to get out of it. But what you really want as a hedge is something where the entrance is very narrow to get into, right? And that's crypto, right? Because why? The market capitalizations are very small. The number of people who own it are quite limited. So there's a lot of people that want to go in this way, right? But the gate is very small. The only way to make the gate wider is for the price to rise in a huge, significant way. That will allow more people to get in. So that's what, in my opinion, where we should be. We have large allocations to crypto across our portfolios, and I believe that this is going to pay off in a very, very big way. My opinion, not investment or financial advice. And with that, let's go to the comments. We've got quite a few here. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm going to post them all. Thank you, Anthony. Let's see. Anthony has a question. What would you expect to mining stocks if Bitcoin goes parabolic to 250K or 1 million? They'll go up, and they'll go up a lot. They are levered plays on Bitcoin. The leverage, the operational leverage, the financial leverage in these are very significant. So what? A 250 or 500K, what is like a 6x move? So theoretically, they would do twice that, maybe even thrice that. That's my view on miners. Crypto King, I certainly hope so, and that's what I believe as well. Rashad, I read that Jamie Dimon sold his stock since he was promised a position under Trump administration. Position in sold his stocks. Well, Jamie's not dumb. Jamie's, I mean, I remember when Jamie used to be the CEO of, what was it called, One Bank out in Chicago, and where he was like, for the first time he was CEO, and how he's parlayed that into being the CEO at JP Morgan. Yeah, I mean, the stocks of most very large companies trade at historical highs using valuation metrics, whether it be price to sales or price to earnings. So he's not dumb. I mean, yeah, of course he's going to sell. I mean, that's no shock to me. Whether he's going to be somebody in the Trump administration, well, I mean, Trump says a lot of different things, and he likes big brands. And Jamie Dimon is obviously one of the bigger brands in terms of CEOs. He's also said that Larry Fink might be, his Treasury Secretary. So we shall have to see. He also claimed that Jamie Dimon has had a conversion and no longer thinks that Bitcoin is a fraud. We shall also have to see about that. XRP at $10 once SEC case is thrown out. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. And I've laid out a business case and a supply demand case. So the business case means that, there's an actual real world usage of the token, which drives obviously utility, drives accumulation, which drives scarcity. And then as you have a price movement, then you have speculative activity from financial markets where people want in on the price action, and then you have more demand coming in. You need to have both to have it go on. And I think based on what I've seen, there's a reasonable case for that. Crypto King is very, very bullish, almost as bullish as I am. So let's see what happens. This is true. This is true. In other words, when things are going on that are, cause FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, it means that prices are low. Once things are good, then, and things are, and the game is on, well, yeah, the lowest prices will be gone. Norbert says, here's a someone that is an XRP hater and skeptic. Your comment has been posted. Here's some XRP haters. Okay. Someone trying to pump Qubit. All right. What else we got? David's talking about one of the positions in, this is in our diamond tier, wrap centrifuge, which is based on the tokenization of real world assets like real estate and property. This is another actual use case for crypto tokens. And that in our diamond tier is something that I'm also bullish on. Let's see. This is what's wrong with crypto. Will not hit 100. Learn how to read charts. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion, and I am entitled to mine. And Raul says, thoughts, updates on Mankind, EV, Go, and do you think things change for FNMA and FMCC with Kamala's nomination? Mankind just hit a 3 or 4 year high. They have a presentation at a diabetes conference coming up on August 8th and 9th, where they're going to show more data, which is an extension of the data they showed at the American Diabetes Association conference. Then they've got, obviously, their earnings coming up right before the conference. Then they've got more data on pediatric insulin later on this year. So there's a lot of events for Mankind that can drive people to have more confidence that they have control of two big blockbuster drugs. And I believe that's going to drive demand for the stock higher. EVgo, the stock has shot up higher over the last 10 days, maybe a couple of weeks. We are seeing, I believe, EVs are setting up for like the S curve, I think, has seen the bottom of the S curve adoption. And we're about to see this rocket ride higher. And with that, it's going to take, if I'm right, it's going to take charging stocks up. It's going to take Tesla up for sure. And probably maybe Rivian. I don't know about Polestar or Lucid. But it will take EV stocks of all kinds up. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, prices have trended down in the last week. It's still, everything still points to these being released irrespective of whatever comes. That's like the way that they're acting. The second mortgage proposal was approved, so there's a business reason for them to be released. There's a political reason they're to be released. I think it's just a matter of time. Thank you, David. Appreciate the backup. Here's another Super Bowl on XRP that wants it to go to 589. If Elon was here, I think we'd have a 69 in there, or maybe a 420. Okay, that is the live stream for today. I hope you liked it. If you like these kinds of investing opportunities, this way of thinking about the world, some mix of macro, some mix of micro, some mix of situations and scenarios, all put together, subscribe to us at ATG Digital. The silver tier goes for $9.99 per month. With that, that's the end of the stream. Thanks for showing up, folks. This is Paul saying bye.